Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Stash Busting. So, we are now on episode 3, and I do have some vague plans that I'm hoping are gonna get done pretty quickly. So, the most important thing is that I like to get at least 8 balls of yarn. That's like my goal for every one of these. I want at least 8 balls for each episode to be gone from my stash. Because otherwise I feel like it's a bit too lazy of me. So let's just get into what I made. I'm back. So for this episode's total, I've made, I think, 3 hoodies, 1 top, and a pair of gloves, well, fingerless gloves. So I think I'm just gonna start with those. So those gloves were made out of this glitter yarn, and I used about half a skein of that. Then I also made a crochet top. I think I crocheted 2 things this time. I actually need to look back on the video. But that top with the cutout used 2 skeins. Then I also kind of revamped an old project into a hoodie, and on that I used 1.5 skeins. And then I crocheted a hoodie, big surprise, and I used 5 balls of yarn for that. And last of all, I knitted a sample hoodie, and I loved it. It was a color block design. Actually, the last crochet hoodie was also color block, but this one had 4 colors, the last one only 2. So this 4-colored color block hoodie used 4 skeins of yarn, and I will definitely be making another one of those. So that, as a total for this episode, brings us to 13 skeins, which is definitely more than 8. I'm happy with it. I could be happier, but it's not bad. So maybe I'll see you next time, and you'll see how many skeins I managed to use then. But still, thank you for watching. Hello and welcome to stashbusting episode 4. I can't believe I've actually managed to do 4 of these. Sometimes I'm a bit lazy with all the editing, but I do have some things. I am recording this one after I already made after I've already made those things. So I can tell you that these projects here are probably some of my favorite ones, and some of these I will definitely repeat. I will definitely knit them again, so I can use them without having to worry about ruining them and then not having another one. But you haven't seen them yet, so I'll just show you that before I come back to tell you the totals. Hi, so I'm back to do a total counting up of this episode. So I think I'll just go straight into it. So I had like 3 really small, really quick projects. And the first of those is actually the first plushie I've ever made, much less knitted. So my first knit plushie, it is a flying squirrel, not a sugar glider, a flying squirrel. And I used about half a skein for that. And then to continue with the smaller projects, I also made a mini scarf and fingerless gloves. And these came from the same skein of yarn. And for both of those I used about half a skein. Then I also made another hoodie. Last video I mentioned a color block hoodie that I definitely wanted to make again. I made it again. And for that one I used a solid color and an upper needle size. And I used 3.5 skeins for that. Then I also made something I've been dreaming about for months. And that is, it's a hoodie. It's a bit wider. And then like here at the waist, it has a tie in the front. And I thought it was just really nice. And I've been dreaming of it for a while now. So I made that. And I used 4 skeins of yarn for that. And it is the same yarn I used for the V-neck hoodie. Yeah, I am not that up to date. So that is the same yarn in a different color. And I just love that yarn because it is so, it's soft but also not. And it looks like soft serve ice cream. So I loved it. But that one was 4 skeins. And then lastly, I recreated a vintage pattern. So that one was a circular yoke, and I left the front open here, like down here, while in the pattern, in the photo, it only had like this little thing here. So I didn't follow the inspiration exactly. But I used 1 skein of yarn for that. So in total for this week, that brings us to 10 skeins of yarn. I don't have anything to complain about. It's not that much, but these are some of possibly my favorite projects, so I'm really happy with it. So that is all I have to say for this episode, and maybe I'll see you next time, and thank you for watching.